James Leija. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate your being on here.
No problem, bro. Thank you.
Um, I wanna ask you about the Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia press conference. If you saw that, what were your thoughts?
I saw some of it. I mean, these guys. I'm old school, man. I just like I don't do a lot of talking. I just let my hands do the talking. I like to. I respect everyone. I get in the ring. I respect them in and out of the ring. We're both fighters. We're both gonna give our best. I don't dog anybody out. I just want everyone to have a good. I want everybody to be safe. No one get hurt, and that's a respectful game for me. That's what I want. But when guys start doing this trash talking, all that, it doesn't do anything for you. Doesn't make you any better. Doesn't get you better. Doesn't get you more fans or anything like that. It just makes everyone look bad to me. That's how I am. So I kind of like when guys are talking trash to each other. I'm like, what a waste of time. It's still a sport, man. Boxing is still a sport, and you have to have sportsmanship in it. That's why it's called sportsmanship. You have to have it in sports, and when guys don't have it, I feel bad for them. I feel bad for the people watching boxing because we're representing the sport of boxing, and you want to represent it well and make sure that it's got to be respect. It's a respectful game.
When you were fighting, unfortunately, I got to see you fight many times, but I didn't get to see your press conferences. Was there any trash talk at your press
Never,
conference?
never. That's what I'm saying. If the guy was going to trash talk me, I'd say, hey, I just do my talking in the ring. I don't need to tell you anything out here. Because what am I going to do? Just talk back and forth, and it's just going to keep going and going back and forth till we get tired? No, I don't. I do my talking in the ring. I don't have to do talking. Azuma Nelson, where we had 4 fights, 42 rounds of brutal fight rounds, and tough fights, and we respected each other. We were gentlemen outside the ring, and that's how it should be in boxing. That's what we want. We want to grow our sport. We don't want to tear it down. We want to grow the sport, make people watch, make the casual fan want to watch boxing, not having to watch trash talk going back and forth. That's how I feel about it. I want to grow the sport, not tear it down. And plus, you never build yourself up by tearing others down. If I want to tear you down, it's not going to build me up. It makes me look bad because I don't. If you don't have anything good to say about anyone, don't say anything at all. Just go along your way and do your thing. That's how I feel. There's other people that feel differently, and that's okay. That's okay. But I'm not going to make myself any better by making you look bad.
What were your thoughts? What were your thoughts at the press conference when Ryan Garcia admitted to drinking and smoking drugs? What were your thoughts when you heard that?
Uh, you know, we all have everyone has their thing about what they do well and what they don't do well. Um, you know, when it all comes down to it, you got to get in the ring and fight. Whether you've been doing whatever is accusing you, it all shows in the ring. It all shows in the ring. So if you're doing that, um, you know, I don't know. I don't know what to say about it because it's either true or not. I don't know if it's true or not. Um, but if it is, it's gonna show in the ring.
That was just a big shock to me because I've never heard a fighter actually say that. So
Now,
that
tell
was
me
a big
where is
shock
it?
to me.
What did he say exactly?
Ryan Garcia admitted to smoking and drinking.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah. But, if he's doing it, within training camp time, like 7 weeks or 8 weeks before the fight, um, it's gonna affect him. It could affect him during the fight. It could affect him. But if he's doing it way before training camp, we all have our drink. We all, people smoke, and um, I didn't do that, so I can't say how it feels. But I know people do it. But hey, Pernell Whitaker drank during training camp all the time. Every time I was in training camp with Pernell Whitaker, he was always drinking. Hey, look how he fought. It didn't bother him at all. Some guys do better with it because they need it to calm down and relax. Pernell Whitaker had drinks every day after training. Um, 2 or 3 beers or whatever it was. But Look how he fought, man. This guy was a beast.
And speaking of Pernell Whitaker, De La Hoya mentioned him amongst the 140 top fighters in boxing. But at the same time, he mentioned Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney while mentioning Pernell Whitaker.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts when you heard De La Hoya mention Pernell Whitaker along with Devin Haney's name and Ryan Garcia's name?
I don't know. Well, Pernell was mainly a 147. I'm not sure if Pernell fought a 140, but I know he was predominantly a 147 pounder, and he was a beast, man. The guy was so good. But I don't think these guys are at that point now where they can say they're in the same line as Pernell Whitaker. Not yet. Maybe in another thing about this is durability has a lot of things to do with it. Pernell was in it for a long time. These guys have not been in it that long to say you got to sustain that long endurance. It's endurance too, you know. And Pernell was in the game for what, 16 years, 17 years? I forgot what it was. So in 15 years or 10 years, then they can talk. But right now, I don't think they can say that. You gotta have that sustainability where you're and durability where you're gonna be able to sustain this long grind of a sport. And plus, we fight more. We fought more back then. We fought 4 or 5 times a year. Now they're fighting once or twice a year. It's a different game.
There's more money now.
Yeah, so they don't have to fight as much. They don't have to fight as much. Back then we had to fight a lot, and these guys don't have to fight as much once or twice a year. We're fighting. I was fighting at least 4 or 5 times a year, trying to. Um, but you know, it's durability too, because you put your body through a lot in that time, and you get hurt, injured, whatever, cuts. But we were always on the game. I was always in the gym. I never took off because if I fought on a Friday, I was back in the gym on Monday, taking it easy, but back in the gym because another fight could come up in 3 or 4 months. I want to stay busy.
Speaking of Pernell Whitaker, you sparred him, right?
What's that?
Speaking of Pernell Whitaker, you sparred him.
All the time. I used to spar him all the time. Here in San Antonio, I sparred him in Florida, sparred him in Virginia, sparred him in Houston. We had a lot of training camps together.
Now, in regards to Ryan Garcia saying if he loses this fight, he's going to retire, do you think he will retire?
You think if he would retire? He's made a lot of money. He's made a lot of money, and he don't need the money anymore. So, if he's fitting to that point where he's stressed out uh, about fighting and what he has to go through, maybe that's why he wants to retire. Maybe he's had enough of it, and it's time for him to retire. But once you start talking about retirement, you're almost retired.
Ryan Garcia is only 25 years old, though.
I know, and they always say that. Guys always say, and I always say they retire because they have a lot of money, but they always come back because they spent a lot of that money. And so, and I think that's one of the reasons I fought till I was 38 years old, because I couldn't come back. I was too old already. So I said, so I didn't want to do the retirement thing and come back. So I made sure I fought long enough that I couldn't come back. I was too old already. And I have 57 fights too, though.
You didn't want to do what Sugar Ray Leonard did.
No. Well, a lot of these fighters do. A lot of these fighters retire and come back, but a lot of times it's for the money. But I made sure that I did it when I was 38 years old because I didn't want to come back.
But what if there was big money offered to you when you came back or what?
Well, it would have to be a lot of money. I always tell people they got to pay me at least $2 or $3 million for me to come back, and no one's gonna pay me that. So I knew I wouldn't come back. I was too old. I got offered. Matter of fact, after I retired, about 4, 6, 8 months later, I got offered to fight Julio Cesar Chavez, but it never materialized, which I'm glad because I probably would have taken it just for the money, but I'm glad it didn't happen.
An exhibition with Julio Cesar Chavez would be nice.
That'd be nice, yeah. I wouldn't mind an exhibition, but you still train the same way. You still spar. You still get hit. You still put your body through through a lot of work for an exhibition because no one's gonna take it easy in exhibitions. You know, you go all out in exhibitions. That's why that's why we don't believe in exhibitions. It's all the same. You're still getting hit. But I'm glad I didn't do it. I'm glad I had 57 fights. I retired and didn't have to come back to boxing.
In regards to Devin Haney saying that he's he's gonna have more power moving up in weight now at 140. Do you believe that he will carry that power uh, throughout the 140?
Well, sometimes I mean you get stronger because you don't have to kill yourself to make weight anymore, and so he's going to carry a lot more of that muscle. And a lot of times when we lose a lot of weight, we had to take muscle away to make weight. So I would, I used to make 125, 130, 135, 140. I felt great at 140, but I was fighting bigger guys. But I'm a small, big guy. I'm a small, big guy. I weigh a lot. I'm solid. I weigh a lot, and so I was killing myself to make 135. I'd take muscle away, and then when I was 140, I didn't have to take all that muscle away. I could just burn body fat. So I felt stronger at 140.
But you looked a little bit smaller, I think, in your fight against Gatti, right?
I'm sorry?
If I'm not mistaken, you looked a little bit smaller in your fight against Gatti.
Yeah, Gotti's a big Gotti. Well, Gotti will get up to 160 for fight time. Gotti will Gotti would gain 20, 25 pounds after the weigh-in, and he would weigh a lot. And I only put on like 10, 15 pounds over after the fight, so I was smaller than Gotti. But I'm like I said, I'm a small, big guy. I weigh a lot for a small guy. Even when I go swimming, I can't float. Even if I have a life jacket, the life jacket comes up to. I put the life jacket on, the water still up to here on me because I sink like a rock. I'm solid, but I'm not a big guy, but I'm heavy.
How do you see this fight playing out?
You know what? I don't know why. I like both fighters. They're both great fighters. Devin Haney's probably the more technician that has better technique, better defense, moves well. But I don't know why. There's something telling me that only because of what Leonidas did to Devin Haney. Leonidas had him out on his feet, walked him back to his corner, and Leonidas was an old version of himself. He was 35 years old, maybe even older, old version of himself, and he was hurting Devin Haney. If Ryan Garcia hits him with that left hook, it's out, man. He's gonna be gone. And so but he has to land that left hook. But it's a good fight. I don't know why I like them both, but I think for some reason something tell me that Ryan's gonna do well in this fight. Even though I think David Haney's a better fighter.
So, do you think this fight will end by knockout?
Yeah, it's not gonna go to distance. It won't go to distance. It may be a late rounds, but I think it's gonna be a knockout. It should be a knockout. It should be a good fight. But I think for some reason I don't know. I'm getting this thing about Ryan Garcia winning the fight. And I'm not even a big Ryan Garcia fan because of whatever. I don't know the guy, but I just think he has a left hook. But man, that left hook is tough, and I think he's gonna catch. I think he's gonna catch Haney with it.
A puncher always stands a puncher's chance.
Always, always. I mean, that's always. You can get as old as you get. If you have power, that's all you have. That's all you need. You only need one punch. So the thing is, like they say, um, Haney has to be good for every round, not to get caught with that hook. But as well as Ryan only has to land one punch. Ryan has to land one punch clean to end the fight. He could be losing every round. He could lose every single round to 11 rounds and just land one punch and win the fight.
At the press conference, there was talks about Tank Davis touching up Devin Haney. There was a video leaked.
Yeah, I heard about that too. I didn't see much of I saw a little bit of the video. It didn't show a lot. They're just going back and forth, but it didn't show a lot. But man, I still believe Tank is a beast, man. He is a beast, and he's trouble for anyone. For anyone.
What were your thoughts when Devin Haney said to Ryan Garcia that he's a quitter for getting knocked out against Tank Davis?
I don't know how you call him a quitter. He got knocked out. He couldn't go anymore. He didn't quit. The guy made him quit. But he didn't make him quit. The guy put him out. Like me, I didn't quit my fights, but the guy helped me do that. It's not me. Hey, some fights I got stopped in. It wasn't my fault. It was their fault. I'm not a quitter. The guy put me out. Yeah, I didn't quit. I didn't quit against Oscar. He made me quit.
Do you think that after this fight, if Devin Haney were to win, we can we can possibly see Devin Haney against Tank Davis?
Be a great fight, right? I would love to see that fight. I would love to see the fight because obviously Tank already beat Ryan, but if Haney wins that fight and Tank and him fight, wow. I don't think that happens. So for some reason that wouldn't happen. Not just yet. Let them get further on into their careers, and let that fight happen. Maybe at 140.
And there's one name that nobody is talking about, but he's slowly coming on. Now that he's with Eddie Hearns, Subriel Matias. Subriel Matias wants a piece of Devin Haney. Do you
Yeah,
think we will see that fight in the
I hope
future?
so. I like that fight. I think styles make fights, and I'm not sure that style is a good style for either one of them. Not for an exciting fight, but it'd be good. It'd be good. I like to. I love the way Haney fights. He's calm. He takes his time. He breaks you down. He works the jab. But perfect classic boxer, right? Um, and decent power as well. So I think it'll be a good fight for both of them. I don't know how exciting it would be, but I think it's a good fight for both of them.
What do you say to Subriel Matias when he actually says that he doesn't mind getting hit? He can take the punches. He knows he doesn't have good defense, but he knows he eventually will break down his opponent because he has so much power. Is
Yeah,
that good for him to take punches?
I'll tell you what, man. Um, Sluggers don't have long careers. You get hit a lot, you're not going to have a long career. There's only a few guys that have had long careers by getting hit a lot, but after their career is over with, they're not very good either. They're not. They're a show of themselves. Um, I don't know. I always tell people we call it boxing for a reason. It's to hit and not get hit. When you get hit a lot in this game, you don't have a very nice career afterwards, or you don't have a very nice life afterwards. We see it all the time. I see it at the Hall of Fame. I see it everywhere. You see it with boxers. You walk away and you say, "Man, that guy got hit a lot." Or, wow, poor guy. We all say that, but man, poor guy got hit a lot. And that's going to happen to the guy too. He's young now. Wait till he's 40, 50 years old. He's going to wish he didn't get hit like that.
One thing that does shock me is James Toney. He was such a slick boxer, James Toney,
Yeah.
but now when you look at him, he looks like he got hit a lot. What happened?
Well, he had a lot of fights. And it's always I don't know how many fights he had. What do you have? 70 something fights, if not more, right? James Toney, a lot of fights. And think of that. It's not just the fights. What do you do with that? You're sparring. I would spar 120 rounds minimum for every fight. Times times 57. How many times have I been in the ring? And how many times have I sparred? That's a lot of fights. That's a lot of getting hit. So some guys carry it well, some guys don't. It's genetic sometimes, but sometimes it's the guy hitting you too. But um, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. We see a lot of guys like that. And we see. I always tell people, I see a lot of guys like that at the Hall of Fame. The world champions are there, and they got hit a lot. Can you imagine the guys that didn't make world champions? They got hit. They got hit even more. So it goes across the board. No one's immune to it. We all get hit. We all have suffered those uh, complications from getting hit in the head a lot. It's a tough sport. It's a tough sport. And if you don't mind getting hit, you're in bigger trouble.
Oh, one last thing. With the face-off between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia walked away from the face-off.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a bad thing?
What is it? It doesn't prove unless it does two things. Haney staying there, give him confidence. Oh, he's afraid of me. Give him a little bit of confidence. That little bit of confidence may help him. Ryan Garcia walking away, say, I don't need to do that. Let him do that. It's no big deal, right? It's just it depends on how you are mentally. If you're mentally strong, it doesn't bother you. If you're mentally weak and you walk away and say, "Oh man, I shouldn't have walked away," it's now he thinks he's better than me or whatever. It's gonna affect you. But if you're mentally strong, it doesn't affect you. It doesn't matter. Just words. It's just stare down. I like to win my stare downs though, but it's not. It wasn't for me. It was for them. I just want them to think, whatever it is. I'm not afraid or whatever. But I'm more of a mentally strong person, so it doesn't matter to me. We don't have to have a stare down. We would have a stare down, right? Think about that. Have a stare down, then shake his hand at the end of it. It's just for show sometimes, you know. It's just for show sometimes.
And
We got
since
to
we
sell the fight.
since we mentioned James Tony's name, he loved those stare downs.
Yeah, he was good at it too. He's a good guy too. He's a great guy, and but you know that's part of the game. It's a brutal sport, man. It's a brutal sport.
Jesse James Leija, I appreciate you being on
Hey,
once
brother,
again.
thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you.
April 20th, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia.
What a fight, man! I can't wait to see it.